All right, what's up, everybody? We are back here again for Backyard Bookies. Scott, it's bowl season. We finished up 2 weeks ago, championship week. I finished on a strong note for us, a perfect week from your boy over here. But we're hopping into bowl season. We're going to pick every bowl game for everybody. So we got 8 games this week, but you, my friend, have a little bit of promise to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 months, you've come through. You've come through with your bets. You've done everything you said you would. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that I haven't had to do any What am I blanking out here? Do any
Wheel of pain, punishment,
wheel of pain.
torture,
I'm sorry. Do any
torture,
wheel of pain
literal
here.
torture.
Yeah, I mean, I got a perfect week a few weeks ago, and you got the second one a few weeks ago as well. So I told you. For you getting those 5 picks right, I think I'm gonna do a shot challenge too. So I got 3 shots here. I'll do them back to back as we go here. They're pretty rough, so probably won't throw them back immediately. But I'll do one right now. I'm really proud of you getting all 5 right. I told you when you got the first 3 right that I'd do it. So cheers to you, sir. I'll do the banana here first.
I appreciate banana. Probably sounds like the best if you're a banana guy.
No, I went to Twin Liquors and this guy said this is the worst one. So we're starting with the worst. I don't know which one you did.
I did pickle and root beer. Pickle and root beer.
I don't have any of those, but I got the banana here. Cheers to you for 5-5-0, big time. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, not great.
Not great. All right.
I've had better.
All right.
Yeah, bowl season's here though. We're about to pick some tough bowl games here. This first 8. There's a few of them that are okay, but kind of just getting into those lower bowl games here. We probably don't know too much about any of these bowl games besides a few, but we're gonna do our best and give some picks out.
That's it. So we're gonna reset all scoring for the month. The bowl season, we'll call it. We'll go head to head for this one for one final spin on that wheel of torture. So we're gonna do every bowl game. It's like 8 this week. There's like 22 next week. So we're gonna have to run through these fast, not going too in depth on these. Just what we think. But let's kick things off. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, Georgia Southern and Ohio, the Bobcats. Not much to know about this game. I do have a little something. Quarterback for Ohio, who's supposed to be starting, Parker Navarro, has 165 total yards of offense on the season. 65 passing, 100 rushing. I don't think this is a good spot for Ohio. I'm taking Georgia Southern minus 3.5. What did you go with?
Yeah, so I looked at these a little while ago. I saw Ohio was 9-3, Georgia Southern 6-6. I don't know too much about either of these teams, but weirdly enough, Georgia Southern had the favorite there. I think that's kind of a telltale sign that I don't think Ohio has their guys playing. Let's see, look at the stats here. Georgia Southern's getting 67% of the bet. So honestly, I think I have the same thing. I have minus 3.5 for Georgia Southern. Probably won't be watching this game. I might be watching this game. I won't have much going on Saturday, but always like a little football. So, yeah, I'm taking Georgia Southern minus 3.5 as well.
NFL games on Saturday this week, so they're going up against some stiff competition. 3 NFL games. Yeah, it's just kind of the big thing with these games is like the transfer portal. It's a whole new thing. Like, you have to look who the hell is even playing. It used to be like guys going to the draft, guys holding out. Now it's like, who the hell is even on this team still? So that's the big thing I was going for. All right, next bowl game on deck. The Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. We have, oh no, excuse me. I went out of order. But we could just do the Avocados Bowl. We got Miami of Ohio and Appalachian State. I jumped early. I forgot I missed one. All right, let's just do that. Miami of Ohio and App State.
Yeah, so App State obviously coming off a decent win against JMU. JMU can't say they're the national champions anymore, undefeated. They have a loss now playing. I forgot who they're playing in their bowl game, but that's going to be in a week or so.
They didn't get the waiver. They got the waiver?
JMU and one other team got a waiver.
The next bowl game team got a waiver.
No, JMU got a bowl. They have a bowl, but we'll look it up here in a second. Right. Yeah, they're in a bowl. But yeah, Miami, Ohio, 11-2. App State, 8-5. Looking at it here, App State's a favorite. I'm kind of going against myself here. I'm going to take Miami of Ohio plus 6.5. Just seems like a decent place to get points. Kind of just going against that that App State. Everyone's going to be picking App State because they beat JMU. So just going to go against that. Not really much more there. Playing in Orlando, not really any home field advantage. So I'm going to take the points and see how this game goes.
All right, JMU playing Air Force in a bowl game. You are 100% correct. We'll be picking that later. This one was kind of tough. The entirety of a Miami of Ohio transferred, according to my lookups. They're on like their fourth quarterback starting now. Their kicker left. Their kicker left or came back. But App State also had quite a few transfers there without their top two receivers. And Miami, Ohio's defense is still intact, and they've had a very good defense all season long. Offense really hasn't been much to write home about anyway. Really good MAC team. I'm going to take the 6.5 with App State. They're 4-0 on the season against MAC teams, so they got good mojo against the MAC here. But I really like the under in this game. Under a touchdown is probably about as much as I could go because I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. So I took App State minus 6.5, but I think this one's a true toss-up game for us.
Yeah, I think it says 86% pick the under as well, so it makes me feel a little better taking the points. But also, you saying most of their players transfer doesn't give me much hope. But we'll take the.
What's the quality of quarterback? What's the downgrade? It can't be much. It can't be much.
Yeah, it can't be much worse. I mean, I can't imagine Miami, Ohio has that great of talent on their team, but they are 11-2, so maybe they do.
All right. I skipped this game, and this is the other team that got a waiver. We got the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, baby. Down here at the Bourbon Bowl. Baby, the Bourbon Bowl down here. Jacksonville State, the other team with a waiver to play in this bowl game. They're playing the Lafayette Cajuns of Louisiana. I took Jacksonville State minus 2.5 here. I think this is a team, like I said, they got the waiver to get the bowl game. They were ecstatic. This was everything for them. Everybody's not going into the transfer portal. They're super pumped to play this game. And UL Lafayette, like, they've played in this bowl game 7 of their last 11 bowls. They've played in the New Orleans Bowl. So it's like, what the hell are they even playing for here? So, yeah, I went with the young upcomer, Jacksonville State, minus 2.5.
Well, good for the program. I went the opposite way. I went to Louisiana Monroe Ragin' Cajuns plus 2.5 here. Playing a home game. But they have played in this bowl quite a bit of time. So, like you said, probably the swag bag is about the same as it's been the last few years. They're probably getting the same stuff. Maybe getting, a PS5 and, maybe a shot glass or something, or some hand grenade mix or something from Bourbon Street. But for me, it's, Jacksonville State's getting 90% of the bets here. They're probably rolling off that. They got the waiver and they're in a bowl game. They haven't been in a bowl game yet. They're going to have that momentum. But really, when I see 10% of the bets are on one team, I'm going to take that 10% and take Louisiana. Louisiana Lafayette is what I usually call them. Just Louisiana now. I hate that. I want them to just be Louisiana Lafayette, but they're just Louisiana. Like
they should just be the Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns.
I mean, how about Southeastern Louisiana Bourbon Bowl Bulldogs?
I don't expect too many spectators at the game, so I don't think there's much of a home field advantage. But they don't have to travel too far, so we're going to take Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana, whatever they're called, Raging Cajuns, plus 2.5.
I'm thinking that's a nice game you maybe go to. It's in the afternoon. What is it? Yeah, 1:15 and a Saturday in New Orleans. You get your pregame started. You get all lit up. But yeah, that's just, again, I think Jacksonville State, man. I don't know.
Just a quick brunch, a couple of holy hand grenades, a couple of hurricanes, and you walk over to the Superdome and watch this horrible game. So
it's a football. All right, next game. One of our favorite teams, a team we did not bet on enough this year. Program prior, we got the Isleta New Mexico Bowl. We got New Mexico State and Fresno State.
So I'm kind of going off the same thing I did last pick here, but New Mexico State has been covering a ton of games. 10-4 playing Fresno State, who's they're decent little squad, but New Mexico State's minus 3.5, playing sort of a home game, not quite. They're playing in the same state. I'm taking New Mexico State here, minus 3.5. I don't like that 88% of the bets are on them. I think they probably have the same thought as I do. So Fresno could come in and beat them by 14, but Yeah, I'm taking New Mexico State here, solely based on their history this year. I think they were the one. I think they were top 5 in covering spreads this year. I don't know what their percentage was, but it was pretty good. So I'm gonna take them -3 in the hook.
Yeah, I know they were one of the best teams in the country. I'm also taking New Mexico State here. Not talked about, probably the least talked about best job in college football. I mean, this was a program and team that was projected to be like the worst team in football. They went 10-4. They went
Yeah,
into Auburn and beat them by 2 touchdowns. Beat them by almost 3 touchdowns. Beat them by 20. They beat them by 21. They beat them by 3 touchdowns. There you go. I was thinking it was 30-10. Anyway, but lose the last 2. Lose to Jacksonville State. Lose to Liberty. Liberty's undefeated. Jacksonville State, we just talked about, not a bad team. So Fresno State doesn't have their coach. This was a team that at week 5 or 6 was looking like, oh, they're going to be the New Year's 6 team out of the group of 5. They were undefeated. They were rolling up bad teams, and they just fell apart down the stretch. I mean, they've lost to San Diego State and New Mexico, their last 2, the regular New Mexico, both awful, awful teams. New Mexico State's already made this trip, went to New Mexico early in the year, waxed New Mexico. So I'm all over New Mexico State here. I think this is a pretty impressive job for them, for a team that we usually used to shit on and bet on or against the unders a lot last few years. So, all right, next game for
yeah.
us.
Any team from New Mexico last year, we were picking against and probably taking the under. So
Unders.
good for New Mexico State coming through with a good team this year.
At covering spreads. Good thing we didn't
Covering
pick them this
spreads.
year. We didn't pick
Yeah.
them this year. It was a good thing. It could
No.
have been bad. All right. I guess Jimmy Kimmel is gone broke or out of money. This is now the Starco Brands LA Bowl.
You go first.
All
I
right.
got a shot to take.
He's throwing another one back. All right.
I might-
UCLA.
We'll see how the progression goes as the as the broadcast goes. We'll see how my slurring starts to take effect. But I'm already I'm kind of on an empty stomach here, so probably not good for the program. But we'll see how it goes. You go ahead and go.
Well, we're halfway through, so that's good. You'll be able to survive here, hopefully. UCLA Boise State. This is kind of a goofy game. I just lots of transfers for both these teams. Boise State, they just rolled up a conference championship game win. Kind of a big upset for the Broncos there. Beaten Who did they beat in that conference championship game? It was UNLV. Upset UNLV in Vegas for that conference title.
Another good team against the spread.
But Boise State's quarterback transferred. Hit the transfer portal. He's not playing in this game. UCLA, they've been on quarterback rotation. They finished the season terribly. Lost, got beat by Cal, one of your huge upsets to hit. I don't know. Chip Kelly's still the head coach of this team. I guess they haven't fired him, even though they said they were going to fire him. I think he's still there. I'm going to take the Bruins just because it's a home game for them. Now, maybe the people of Idaho get out of that cold weather and come down to LA. Possibly. I don't think Boise State's a very good team. UCLA is a good team. It's only 4.5. I know they lost their defensive coordinator, but let's be real here. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm going a little different. I'm not going spread here. UCLA has been massive under team this year. With you saying Boise State's quarterback's also gone, that gives me a lot more hope that they're going to be scoring any points. I know I forgot what his name is. The UCLA quarterback freshman that was decent, Dante Moore. Yeah, I know he transferred, so he won't be playing. I'm pretty sure he was a backup for a little while, so I don't think he'd be playing anyway. But he was, a 5-star coming out of high school. He's transferring, so he's going to be gone. They're going to be on their, second, maybe third quarterback. 48.5 seems like, maybe too much with the backup with Boise. And UCLA is a pretty good under team this year. I'm pretty sure they were top 5 as well, at least in their last 5 under. And then Boise State's done their thing, but I think in this one we're going to take the under here. It's not good for me. I'm going against here with the total 92% on the under, so that's not great either. But we're going to go ahead and roll with it and see what happens in SoFi. Jimmy Kimmel, you probably could have done better picking teams, but
out of money. It's Starco Brands. He's out of money. It's no longer his bowl game. So
nobody watches TV anymore, Jimmy.
Yeah,
nobody watches TV. We're all streaming stuff. So
Maybe
get in the streaming game. Nobody watches TV anymore, Jim.
maybe his cousin Sal with his gambling can float him a
Yeah.
couple bucks. His cousin Sal's the man. All right, next game on deck: the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Independence Bowl. Cal versus Texas Tech. Two real football teams. These are two Power 5 football teams. Good Lord. What do you got for us, Scott?
Yeah, I'm kind of going historical here. Cal's in a Pac-12 conference that is known for putting up points for the most part. Texas Tech, they had their running gun with Mike Leach. They put up some decent numbers. I wish we could see on action their total overall against the spread. Can't see it, but for this one, I'm taking the over 56.5. I think they're going to be coming out firing here. I hope the weather isn't too bad in Shreveport. It could be pretty bad. Potentially, it says partly cloudy, 50 degrees with a little wind, so that does help. I think there's just going to be a lack of defense here with both teams. So I'm taking the over 56.5. RIP Michael Leach.
All right, so that tells me you're leaning a little bit towards Tech because I got a real key number here for you. Cal is 1-5 when giving up 34 or more points. Texas Tech is 4-0 when scoring 34 or more points. So if you're leaning over, you got to be.
I think most people are probably pretty good when they score 34 or more points, but just saying.
But Cal is 1-5 giving up 34 points, and they're like 5-1 under 35 points given up. So they're a pretty dichotomous team. Tech also is really bad when they don't score 34 points. They're 2-4, I think, when they don't score 34 points. So Tech, the magic number in this game is 34. If we get to 34, Tech is going to win. If they
I'm gonna
don't,
write that number on my head to remember that number for this game. It's on Saturday, so maybe not, but 34. I'll keep that number in mind. 34.
Texas, 34 for Tech. Tech down 4 of their top 5 wide receivers, not missing their number 1 receiver. 4 of their top 5. Their entire offensive line, but 2 starters in the portal. They're on their 3rd or 4th quarterback. This team is beaten down by transfers, but Cal also beaten down by transfers. They are on their 2nd quarterback, one of their rotational quarterbacks. He's out. They're missing their defense. This is gonna be an ugly game with guys who have never seen the field this year. It feels like. I'm gonna take Cal and the points at +3. I don't think they get to that 34 number. I think it's just a little too big with two teams that are, I think Cal was a little bit better than we thought, just because of the conference they played in. They played some great offenses. Played Oregon, played Washington, played USC. It's just
great upset in November too.
No, yeah, against
UCLA. Yeah.
They only had to kill UCLA's quarterback to get that W. Cal just a bunch of dirty players, I guess. Dirty team, I think.
Totally.
So yeah, big number for everybody to watch on this one. That's my tidbit for us. 34.
Hopefully both teams score 34 and we both win. Hopefully Cal wins 37-35
to break the tide. I like it.
Exactly.
All right, we're moving to Monday now. This was the Bahamas Bowl. This is now the famous Toasteries Bowl. Famous Toastery, apparently a restaurant in the North Carolina area. We got Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. I got a couple of tidbits on this one. It looks like the starting quarterback for Western Kentucky is going to be Clay Helton's son. His uncle is the head coach at Western Kentucky. So that's not great. I can't imagine a coach's son is any good at quarterback. He's probably terrible, especially going to Western Kentucky and being the 3rd or 2nd string quarterback.
Hey, Western Kentucky's known for their running gun, so they can throw it around maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but he's the 3rd or 4th string quarterback. He's not their starting quarterback.
Hey, don't dog the kid.
I don't trust it when it's the coach's nephew, okay? My dad's Clay Helton. They're also down 3 of their 4 starting DBs. Western Kentucky, they hit the transfer portal. And Old Dominion's tops in the country in big plays. So Old Dominion just hits home runs on offense. They rallied. They won a few games late to get to this spot. I think they won 3 of their last 4 to get bowl eligible. I'm going to take Old Dominion here -2.5 because I don't like nepotism. We're going against nepotism at quarterback in Western Kentucky and the Hilltoppers.
Well, good for the program here. I'm taking Western Kentucky +2.5, based off of almost nothing.
good uniforms.
Pretty much,
So
Old Dominion. Old Dominion is looking like 85% is on them. I know I've went against that a few times with the public. 15% on Western Kentucky. Sounds kind of good for me. I don't like that it's only 2.5. If it was 3.5, I'd feel a lot better. But I feel like if you're a Western Kentucky or Old Dominion player, especially kicker, you probably can't kick field goals. So I don't know if the 3 really matters too much. It might be a bunch of who knows. It could just be a bunch of touchdowns and 2-point conversions, and we'll see what we can do. But I'm taking Western Kentucky with the spread here. If you're taking advice, don't take mine. I'm taking it here just based off of just feel and hope. Feel and
fading the
hope.
public. You're a big fade the public guy. Big fade
Right
the
now,
public.
currently, yeah. We're gonna do one more shot here. We'll see how much more I'll fade the public.
All right, it's the final game though. This is the final one for this week. It's a reasonable game, I guess. I have a couple of nuggies for this one as well. We have the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. We got the UTSA Roadrunners and the Marshall Thundering Herd.
The Scooters Coffee?
Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee, baby.
They're in a bowl. I almost said the F word. They're in a bowl game. Oh my gosh. They're a sponsor in a bowl game. Scooters Coffee. I've seen like 3 Scooters Coffees everywhere. Wow. That's incredible. Go ahead.
They sponsor the Frisco Bowl. You must not been spending enough time in Frisco.
No, I guess not. That's incredible.
It's UTSA and Marshall here. What do you got for this one?
Yeah, for me here, I'm going against totally what I went against last pick. UTSA, I kind of like them. They've won 4 of the last 5, haven't covered 4 of the last 5. They're looks like 2-2-1 against the spread. Marshall, they're 2-3 against the spread last 5. Head to head, Marshall 23 nuts in 18, UTSA 9-7 in 17. So this is kind of spinning under for me. But this is a long time ago. That was 6 years ago. So completely different team now. So I'm kind of, for some reason, 13 seems like, I don't know. I feel like they're favored by too much. So I'm kind of going with being favored too much. I'm going UTSA -13 here. Looks like the public loves them too. That's kind of what I'm going against. 91% loves UTSA. Probably a bad pick, but I'm doing it.
Not a bad pick.
UTSA.
Not a bad pick. Good, not good for the program. UTSA is going to win this game by 3 touchdowns. This line is way too low. Frank Harris.
Does Randy Moss play for Marshall anymore?
No. Speaking of Randy Moss, though, who was Randy Moss's quarterback in college at Marshall?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You don't know? How about Mr. Chad Pennington?
That's correct. Wow. Yeah, that's true. That's
Chad
true,
Pennington.
Yeah.
His son Cole Pennington expected to start for the Marshall Thundering Herd this.
Didn't
this
even
game.
know that.
Look
Great,
at this.
Wow.
Great gem. What a segment. He was the backup, and the drop-off between him and the starter this year has not been good. He's not good at all. He is not his dad. Chad Pennington, very underrated quarterback.
Is his son a lefty?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just know Cole Pennington is starting this game.
You didn't look into anything?
I didn't look up lefty-righty
throw. You didn't look into Chad Pennington's son in Marshall?
I didn't look up whether he could throw lefty or righty. I didn't.
Do we do any research on this program? Come on.
I knew enough, but the drop-offs have been pretty bad. He's threw for 400 yards on the season. Let's see. I'll see if he's a lefty. He's a freshman, though, at least. He's not very good. Nah, it doesn't say if he's a lefty or a righty. It's not a pitcher, so it won't tell me. Anyway, UTSA, they're jacked up. Jeff Traylor, going to head coach still. Nobody opted out of this game. UTSA kind of jacked up. Their head coach is back. Frank Harris at 1,400 years old. He's been in college since 2000.
He's been there since Nam.
He's been there since Nam. He's been at UTSA. He's a 14-year senior. I think this is finally his final college football game. They're forcing him out of town. Maybe he'll be back. Who knows? It doesn't matter.
What if he gets COVID next week? Does he get another year of eligibility?
He might. They might just keep him around here just for shits and gigs. I think, let's see. He's been here since 2019. He's 6 years in, or 5 official seasons in. I think he has another year of eligibility technically because 2020 is a wash year. So I think he could definitely play another year because who cares? Grad transfer, grad student, who knows? But yeah, this is just a total mismatch of two teams. We got a 40-year-old quarterback versus like an 18-year-old quarterback, and one team has been good and consistent for a couple years now, and Randy Moss ain't walking through that door at halftime for Marshall. I'm all over the Roadrunners at 13. I think this is way too low. If it gets to over 17, maybe I'd get scared. But the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl on Tuesday should be a
Scooters Coffee,
classic.
come on.
Should be a classic. All right. Yeah, you want to run down your picks again? We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do this while you're running yours down. I'm sorry, this might have progressed into a disaster. I'm sorry for all the fans out there. Absolute disaster going here. We have Georgia Southern -3.5. Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajuns +2.5. Miami, Ohio +6.5. I don't know any of these bowls anymore. I forgot. New Mexico State -3.5. I have the under 48.5 with UCLA and Boise State. I have the over 56.5 with Cal and Tech. Western Kentucky +2.5, and I have Frank Harris -13.5 in the Scooters Coffee whatever bowl. I can't believe we're doing this, but cheers.
All right. I have Georgia Southern -3.5 versus Ohio. I got Jacksonville State -2.5 versus UL Lafayette. I got App State -6.5 versus Miami of Ohio. I got New Mexico State -3.5 versus Fresno State. I got Cal +3 versus Tech. I got UCLA -4.5 versus Boise State. Old Dominion -2.5 versus Western Kentucky. And UTSA and Frank Harris -13 versus Cole Pennington and the Marshall Thundering Herd in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. That's going to do it for us this week. We will be back again next Friday. Scott, a champion, grinding through those shots. I think there's like 20 games for us to pick next week, Scott. So we're going to have to give like 10-second blurbs to get through this thing in a reasonable time. But it should be a lot of fun. Classic games include Texas State.
I'll take some more shots next week.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. We'll go right through it. Texas State versus Rice, that's a good teaser. Or how about Texas A&M, Oklahoma State? Or maybe even Rutgers and Miami. Just a lot of classic games coming down the pipe next week.
I do have Rutgers in that game, if you're wondering.
I got Rutgers.
I got Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl in that game, if you're wondering. Go ahead and place a bet.
Way to spoil it. We're supposed to keep the content hidden, Scott. Damn it. All right. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. New sports content every single day. See you guys next week.